Today, I'm going to show you a tool that I use to plan my apps before I build them with AI. And this trick will help stop your app from breaking once people start using it. I've used this exact method myself, including my latest 6th app called Publio. So trust me, it works. And don't skip this, because right now in 2026, building your own business is one of the best ways to get ahead. And building apps is one of the best ways to do it. So, plus, I'll share an added bonus tool that I use so you can move even faster. So let's jump in and start building better. But before I do, if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is James. I'm a former tech recruiter of about 8 years turned AI app builder. I could only dream of building my own tech business, but I knew from being within tech, the cost and the time to hire a developer just to even build an MVP was a pipe dream. But now, thanks to AI, non-technical people like yourself and me can now spin up and build apps in a matter of hours, days, and weeks. And with this channel, it's all about sharing my knowledge of you so you can build your first AI app. So with that being said, now let's get into the tool itself. Again, this was a tool that, okay, so I want to keep it short and sweet for you. So let's get into this. Now, first things first, I came across this tool. I actually can't remember, I apologize, I can't remember the person who mentioned this. I haven't heard too many people talk about this tool too much, but I heard it, I think he was speaking on Liam Otley's podcast, but it's definitely on Liam's podcast, but I can't remember who the person was. Because I literally watched it for about 10 minutes, saw this, I was like, oh, what's this? And now I've been using it ever since, and it's been really fantastic. Because before this, I used something called Taskmaster. But then I switched this, and this has been fantastic, to be fair. And they always seem to be doing releases and updates. As you can see, it's been forked 4.8k times, Starfair 9000. It's pretty straightforward. If you just go onto this website to get this, if I just go on to Google for a second, if you go back onto Google, that's going to go back. No, let's just go on Google for a second, type in BMAD method, and as you can see here, it's just this first one here. I use it all now for my apps, but if you go through all the README files here, pretty straightforward to install. And then you just click this here, so you'll need Node to install this. But if we now go to anti-gravity for a second, sorry, I'm losing my marbles a little bit for a second. What I'm doing, I can't actually find anti-gravity, so let's just go there. Now, you will need, the thing is, you will need a project set up from the start, so it goes into that project file. And what you can do here, so if I go project file, so if I'm just going to create, for example, here, I just created a YouTube. This is just doing it for test. I just want to show you. So just create a new file. I'm going to use anti-gravity for this one for a second. Yes, I trust the author. And then if we go into, I always do my stuff in terminal. Now, I will double check, because to be fair, I never use the Claude extension for my my builds. I always use the terminal. But let me just check in a second. So if I just get the terminal up here, and I know terminal seems scary and whatnot, and people are frightened by it. To be fair, I also felt the same at the start when I started using terminal. I was like, this is confusing, but actually I love it because it just gives you more information. But again, you can use the let me get rid of this for a second. Why is that? Oh, that's why. Sorry, me being slow. So if I just go on Claude for a sec, no, actually, we need to install it first of all. So before I even go into Claude, so if you go on here, the BMAD install, it's going to take a few minutes to do its thing. Hopefully it shouldn't take too long. It's going a little bit slow. That's all right. Might just speed up this part of the video or cut this video bit out until we get to the point it actually starts doing stuff. Now you can actually now start to see it's spinning in the background. It should only take 5 minutes max. It's pretty straightforward. As I said, you'll need to have Node installed. And if you're not sure where to go with Node, let me just go for a second back to the internet. Sorry, I'm being really slow. Let me just go back to here with this, and then go on to, if you want to get Node, you just go to, sorry, I'm being really slow today. There we go. Node, just get that to run this, go onto this website here. And it's pretty straightforward to install Node.js as well to get Node. And you can either do it a couple of ways, install it here or do it via this way. So let's go back to anti-gravity for a second and see what it's been doing. Oh, sorry, no, let's see what it's been doing. Here we go. Still taking its a little bit of time just to install. Let's see why your tech, it doesn't normally take this long, if I'm honest. So we might just give it, maybe, to be fair, my computer is quite slow these days. There we go. Now we can see it. So now we're on version 6. Okay. So all you're going to do for it is, again, it's free and open source. It's not gated or anything like that, so which is awesome. So there's other people contributing, but there are contribution rules as well that have to do it. So let's install into this directory. We're going to do now. You can have different modules here. So you've got the VCAP core method, which is always installed. I'm going to brighten up my screen here. Or you've got the AI Agile Development. This is what I always use. And then you've got also the creative, which is about tools for writing and brainstorming. You've got the builder, you've got the agent workflows, different ones. You've got the game studio if you want to do it. Game studio, you've got test architect as well. I'm just going to use these from ones. Now, I always select no, but you can obviously do custom modules or agents from your computer. Now you want to integrate with your tools. So the tools I use is Claude Code. So I'm just going to press spacebar on that. That will highlight it. Don't press enter because that means you won't have anything. So just press spacebar. And then also I'll just put integrated for you now. And then I'll just press enter, and it's going to say, what do I want to call it? James. It should be in English. Output language, James. Sorry, BMAD output, that's fine. It's just going to install what it's doing now. And there we go. Oh, actually, we had okay, why did that have a problem? I haven't agreed to the Xcode. So let me just, I don't know why I brought up that, but it's probably something to do with mobile. So there we go. We're in real time again. So let's just get a new terminal up for a second, do that, run that again. I've just got to type in my password for the Mac, piece into just press enter, agree. Oh, sorry, I didn't type agree. So let's do that again. Press enter, agree. There we go, sorted. So now let's try and do that one more time. So if I just go, I'm going to close this. Sorry, I haven't got this on that. Let's close that again. My mouse is being funny. I'm just going to close this just so we can do it fresh so you can see it. Bring this up to here for a second. npx bmad method install. Done that wrong. It might still work. There you go. We're doing it. As I said, we're doing this in real time. I'm not going to edit this stuff. I don't think that will work, just purely because, yeah, there we go. So that's what I thought it was. npx bmad method install. Now, hopefully it won't take too long, again, to do what it needs to do. But now I've agreed to the Xcode thing, which is pretty straightforward. And give it time. There we go. That's pretty quick. So yes. Again, we're going to go through all those ones. So again, press spacebar for the ones you want. I'm just going to show. Look, for all intents and purposes, I'm actually not going to create the tools for writing and no, actually I will, so you can see them all actually, because there's more architects. For this one, I think there's about 10, but I think with the creative, there's another 10 or so like that. So let's just put this for now. Add custom modules. No, I'm going to put call codes again, spacebar. I'll just use anti-gravity as well. James, English, BMAD output. Let that do its thing. Hopefully this time it should work because I've agreed to the Xcode license. So now that normally doesn't happen, but because I've been doing stuff with iOS apps and stuff like that, you just got to, sort that stuff out. Let that do its thing very quickly. Okay, so I might just pause here whilst it's doing its thing. Okay, so as you can see here, it's come out. It's taking a little bit slower than I better say. It takes about 5 minutes just to do the Express. I'm still going to do the Express setup, let it do its thing again, configuring the BMAD Creative Innovation Suite, installing BMAD Core, which is cool. And I want to show you where we get to in a minute. Now, with this, so using this means we'll have like an agile development team with different agents. So we'll have like a developer, have an analyst, I think a scrum master, an architect, and also a tester as well. There's also a UX UI designer. So there's different agents you can use. It's probably taking a little bit longer because I'm actually installing the Creative Suite. I didn't need to do that, to be honest. I should have just done an agile development team. But I really want to show you in a second the beauty of this. And so, look, I'm going to be honest, planning is the biggest mistake I made was not planning my ads. I know you get these tools where you can say you can one-shot prompt, and don't get me wrong, you can do a one-shot and get an interface, but behind the scenes, it doesn't work like that. Like these tools work best when you're kind of prompt chaining and it's like small steps over time rather than one large prompt. Now, I'm not saying you can't start off with that, but if you want to really scale and build your apps, one, you need to break down your prompts, but also you need to plan up front. It's not a case of just writing a prompt and starting, because I've done that where I just kind of built apps. And then for example, one where I built a mobile app called NeuroFlow, I just prompted my way there. And to be fair, every time because I didn't plan up front, yes, it worked, but every time I wanted to create something new or feature, I'll be honest, it just broke something else. So now, I cannot stress how planning should be the 90% of your time up front. And look, I will not exaggerate when I said I have spent probably a good whole day. So we're talking 8-9 hours before, just simply back and forth with these agents, planning up front, creating all the documentation, creating the PRD, creating the stories, the epics, the architecture, so that when I actually do come to build, my Claude Code session knows now it's got a full kind of documentation process to follow, and it just bangs in kind of goes off by one step by step, and it's got a kind of a document, a roadmap to follow to produce better results. And then I can go back and forth. So let me now get into this. So now if I close this terminal and get into my Claude session, for example, and I said, I normally do it through the Claude terminal, but let's try this in here. And what we're going to need to do here, so let my Claude session just load, and I'll try the terminal in a second. Now, I want to show you a tool I use to help with this as well, to create, because if you're still using the keyboard or text to prompting, you are taking so much longer, and the quality of your prompts are not going to be as good. So I'll show you a tool in a second that I use. Now to get into it, sorry, my computer, I need it. Since I started developing apps, my computer has got slow. It's about 4 years old. Definitely need a new computer. But if you can see here, we've got, if I go on to, BMAD, so just that, BMAD, you can see here, I've got different things for different agents. So I've got BM, we've got the Scrum Master, we've got the Dev. What else have we got? If I actually go on to agents, maybe that'll be better. You can see we've got the different agents here. Now, the beauty of it is tech writer, Scrum Master, you've got the kind of the master, the orchestrator, the UX designer, the architect, so much stuff. Now, if I actually go into party mode, this is the beauty of it. If I actually go into party for mode in a minute, you are going to see a bunch of agents come through. Now, let it just load up doing its thing for a second. So as I said, takes a few minutes, but planning up front is honestly 90% of the work. The more you can plan up front, and don't get me wrong, there's going to be things along the way that you suddenly didn't think about, but you've got to think about the user experience, you've got to think about the user journey. But because you've already got a strong documentation there, strong tech architecture, because you've been planning up front, when it comes to creating new features, using all this documentation because you planned it, trust me, it will help break things a lot less. Now, look, it's inevitable, things will break. That is just a part and parcel. Like, even in real, like, software developers, they will ship things that will break and has bugs and stuff like that. Don't be afraid that you're going to ship things that have bugs. But quickly, as I said, I want to keep it short and sweet. So now you can see the party mode is activated. So you can see all the different agents that we have here. So you got Victor there, who's the innovation oracle. You're strategic. You got Mary, the business analyst, who speaks with excitement, who does all the analytic work. You got Amelia, the developer. You've also got 15 more agents from Winston, the architect, Sophia, the master storyteller, the brainstorming coach, Sally, UX designer. There's so much. So now I'm going to use this tool. So there's a button I press on my keyboard, and the reason that I don't do this with my keyboard anymore, and I've gone back and forth with this, but is to use voice to prompt. And there's a tool called WhisperFlow. So if I go on a second here, sorry, I'm just going really slow again. If I go back onto Arc, this tool here, I think it's about $15 a month, maybe, don't quote me 100%. I'll add a link down below. I pay in Australian dollars, so, but I think it's about $15. But this will save you so much time and have better prompts. And so I'm just going to say, for example, this, right? Okay, let me click onto this for a second to see. Are you going to work? I'm not sure. Have you frozen? Yes, I think you have. I think WhisperFlow has frozen. So let's just close that for a second. Come back into WhisperFlow and see. Maybe it's because I'm actually recording and what. So let me just double check that for a second. Maybe it's because I'm recording. It shouldn't do that. It should record. It should just record me regardless. But let's have a look. Give me a second while that's taking its time to load. How long have we been recording for now? 17 minutes, a lot longer than I wanted to. Okay, are you going to work? Yes, okay, brilliant. Okay, now we're working, perfect. So I just press the FM button and it types it. So, hey team, it's James here. I want to build a fitness tracking app that can track my fitness, my data for my weights and my running, because I'm a hybrid, kind of doing hybrid stuff with running and gym, and I want to be able to track it and trace it in a kind of mobile app. Look, I'm a non-technical co-founder. I'm a non-technical founder. I do not know where to start. You guys are the expert here, but what I want to do is make sure I plan this all out up front so that when we come to code, we've got a proper architecture and the proper tech stack, should I say, and I need you to guide me and tell me what the best methods are here, and we need to plan this out up front because I want this to go to users. I want to set up payment as well. I want to put this on the iOS App Store, and I want to scale this. So I've got to think like this app's going to scale to 20,000 users, that kind of thinking. Now, we're obviously at the very first beginning of steps of here, but I want to act like we are. So I need you guys to help me plan this and plan out. And I want to use all your expertise and all your different experiences to build this plan out so that we can build this best app that doesn't constantly break, doesn't just look good on the surface, but actually behind the scenes is a working, fully functional app that users are happy and having a great user experience. Now, it's pasted there, but if I type in this, you can see that. Now, what I'm saying is, that's going to take me ages to go back and forth with text. So if you use this tool, WhisperFlow, it's amazing for this stuff. Now, what I just want to very show, I'm going to, at the end of this, I'm going to stop it here, or I'll just quickly see if it comes up in Claude Code. But essentially, it'll start getting the agents to start working and going back and forth and seeing. So let me just, whilst it's doing what it's doing, and see if it's going to give it a second to go back and forth. And now you'll see the different agents start to communicate with each other. As I said, unfortunately, my computer is slow. I definitely need to get a new computer for sure. When I first got this MacBook, I say 4 years ago now, I wasn't even thinking about AI. So now you can see the different agents working. So you've got John, the product manager, talking to me. And the beauty of these agents is these agents will collaborate between each other and actually point out gaps. So, let's say John says something that when somebody can come back and go, hang on, have you actually thought about this? You've missed a gap here. And then, at the end of this as well, even with the planning, I cannot stress enough to question as well. So even when we've got everything planned, I'll go, hey, I know it seems slow, but hey, have we got everything? Are we sure on what we've got? Can we question our thinking here? Is there any gaps? And to go back and look, it's just to, because sometimes first time gets it not always right, but using the WhisperFlow and this method, trust me, you will build such stronger built apps on the back end. Look, there will be mistakes, but with all this planning, and you can ask it, literally go, okay, I'm a non-technical person, tell me for the steps, what's the steps we need to follow here? It will take you through from the whole planning to PRD to the epics and the stories to actually the tech architecture and whatnot. So you can see the different analysts here, like talking with each other and what the steps are, okay? Now, I'm gonna end that video here because I'm not gonna go into the full build of anything like this right now, but now you can look at this and go, right, if I have the thing, let's start the product brief. That's where we can lock down. So talk me through, what do I need? What should I be looking for? What are the gaps that I'm missing that you can help me build this? Like, think with your expertise, what are the gaps I'm missing? So if I just type this for a second, we're going to end it for a second, let it do its thing, but because I just want to open up the Claude Code session. So if I just open up a separate session here, because again, I don't use this in the terminal, I use it on the terminal, but if I just go here, I'm not sure if it does use this. It might just be a terminal thing. I think so. What I will do for the sake of this video, oh no, it does. Okay, brilliant. Okay, beautiful as well. It also comes up in the Claude Code. So even though you've got to probably install it from your terminal, it was pretty straightforward. It was just that npx BMAD method install, pretty straightforward. But if you use the Claude Code in the chat version as well, you can also access it by here, and it'll done the same thing. And it'll be, if you use the chat, it'll be an easier AI. Now, if I just go again, I'm not going to use it for this because I use it for this. Now, if you go back, you can see on that prompt, right, it's gone back and forth, what we need to do. And this, again, even in party mode, now, once we've finished the party mode, it's all done and it's all ready. You'll have the developer, so either the Claude session, and now, of course, you have got the plan mode you can use on Claude Code. And to be fair, this in itself is great, but this is the method that I particularly use. So look, I'm gonna end the video here, but if you got value out of this, please do like and subscribe this video if you haven't subscribed already. And if you are looking to build your first AI app and don't know where to start, I do have some resources below, and with a free community with tools, but also a paid course community where I break down everything I've done to help me build my apps and helping others to build their first app as a non-technical person. Or if you want your AI app built and don't want to go into the process of actually learning how to build it, there's also a link to be able to work with me where I have my agency as well, where we can build AI apps as well. So until next time, I'll leave it at that and just play around with this method of BMAD, get used to it, install the tool, WhisperFlow. It's definitely worth the $15, and I look forward to seeing you on the next time.